is Rachel. I'm a homeschool mom to two boys, grades 3rd and 5th, and we are getting closer to starting our middle school years in our homeschool. In today's video, I wanted to share some of mine and my kids' favorite nonfiction resources that we have in our homeschool library. The first one I want to show you are some science ones, starting with this one. This one I actually had to pull out of my son's bedroom. This one is called 100 Things to Know About Food. This book has a lot of information, little small bites of information and facts about food, what's in food. My kids love to just go look through all of these page by page. They usually love to grab one of these types of books while they're eating. And they love all of these books with all of these random facts. This one is an Usbourne book. I do know that Usbourne has sort of switched up how they do their business. I think they might be called Paper Pie. And I'll be honest, I cannot figure out their new website system, but hopefully that will be getting more user-friendly in the future. This next book is one of my kids' favorites, and it's it's heavy. It's a DK Dog Encyclopedia. They will go through this book all day long. It's heavy. I will try to show you some information, kind of give you an idea of what it looks like on the inside. But they both have their own favorite pages, favorite dogs. They know how to find what they're looking for. They always have a puppy they want to show us. This book is always out. A next science book that we all have loved is the Berenstain Bears Big Book of Science and Nature. We actually went through this book one year as our science curriculum, where I read these pages to them. I would do a couple pages a day. And then I would find other resources to go along with whatever was being taught. This was something that we did, I think, maybe 3 years ago for our science. And it worked out really well. And it was a really good spine for our science to kind of just jump into whatever topic that they were learning about. This book has different sections: a year in Bear Country with holidays, seasons, weather, actual facts about snow, wind, rain, thunder, lightning, the sun, the moon, and lots more. One of my sons loves snakes, loves reptiles, and loves just learning more about dangerous animals. One of his favorites is called Wild About Fierce Creatures by Miles Kelly. We have a few other books with the wild about, but this particular one is his favorite. Here is what the inside of this one looks like. Again, this is another one of those small bite-sized facts with lots of interesting and large photos to look at. And one of my sons, this is one of his favorite books. But this is all about fierce creatures, so not just snakes. These next resources I have are to do with art, and they're kind of the same book. I actually have a third, but I couldn't find it. But is If Picasso Had a Christmas Tree, and If Picasso Painted a Snowman, and they're roughly the same type of book. And again, we have a third one. But what it'll do is if Picasso had painted a Christmas tree, it shows what it would look like with his art style. And it has some information here. But then it will go through other artists as well, showing what a Christmas tree would look like according to that artist. These are really, really interesting books. We own 3 that are all similar. This is the Christmas tree one. And here is a bit inside. This one has is for a younger reader. I like the Jackson Pollock one. That one's fun. And then there was one time when we went through this book, the kids and I actually got Q-tips and did dot snowman like this. Another resource that we have for art is Usbourne's The Book of Art. We actually got this at Half Price Books. This is probably an older version, but I'm not sure. And again, Usbourne or Paper Pie's website is extremely difficult to figure out now. And this is much more of like an encyclopedia, an illustrated encyclopedia. There are naked people in this, as there's a lot of naked people in art, but I seem to be only going to the naked people picture. It's not all naked people. But it's a really good resource to have if you want your kids to know a bit more about art history and just what else is out there. So moving on to history, this is another one of those books that my kids would just grab and kind of disappear with. DK's Smithsonian The President's Visual Encyclopedia. And this one goes up to President Donald Trump. So you're going to have a little page here on each of the presidents. Whoops. Going up to President Trump. Some of the presidents do have more pages associated with them than others. And then what I also like, and it doesn't have this for all of the first ladies, but it also does have a section on the first ladies. Here is the section called Notable First Ladies. And then in the back, it does have a little bit about the Constitution and the presidency, talking about the American Revolution, the Declaration of Independence. It's not a lot of information, but just different important parts in our history. And they also have a section on the vehicles, Air Force One, Marine Force One, and those are interesting. My boys liked that information. Where the presidents came from, nice map in the back. A little bit of information on some elections, as well as vice presidents, and just a little information about different political parties. Another history reference book is the DK Smithsonian Explorers Amazing Tales of the World's Greatest Adventures. This is a lot of fun pages to just kind of go over, and it's just these types of books, these types of reference books are some of my kids' favorites because they're not really long chapters. They can just open to one page and it's not overwhelming. There's not tons and tons of pages on the same subject, and they sure are learning a whole lot here. This is one of those books that the kids just love to sort of flip through. A book that we have used a lot in our homeschool is the Usbourne Encyclopedia of World Religions. My husband and I like to help our kids have a better understanding of the other faiths and other religions. We are a Christian family, but we think that one of the best ways to really know your faith is to understand what makes it different from others. And so this has been a good resource, is brought in a lot of good conversations, and really helped with understanding for our children. My boys love the Myths and the Legends and Sacred Stories, a visual encyclopedia, also a DK book. This is a topic that they love about. In fact, my older son, actually asked for a Myths and Legends Encyclopedia, and when I found this, he was so excited. And he has probably read this whole book. This is one of those books that he just kind of takes into his room and just pores over. Some of the topics here are going to be probably not the best for younger kids, and what he really likes about this is it has the myths and legends from the different continents. We have Asian ones, African ones, European ones, and so he got a lot more. He felt that he really knew Greek and Roman gods really well, but he just wanted something that helped him learn more. This next book is an interesting resource. It is a little dated, published in 1994, but it's called Material World, A Global Family Portrait. And what it does is it takes families from different countries, it pulls everything out of their house that they own, takes a picture of them with it in front of their homes. And the reason that I like this is a book like this really helps. Let me find the beginning of a page. Here's a Mongolian family in Mongolia. And this really helps give some perspective to my children on the life that other people have in other countries. And then you'll have a few pages about this family. This is all that same Mongolia section. Here we are in Japan. Now, like I said, this is a little dated, but a book like this is really helpful to show a child an insider view into what life is really like. Maybe a bit more than those books with just illustrations, but actual photographs of real people. Another favorite that we have is A Window on the World, an Operation World Prayer resource. In this book, we'll show you different countries and people groups, some facts about life there, and then as well as what that country goes through and how best to pray for the country and the people there. This has been a really good resource, and it's a nice one to mix in. Sometimes I will go through a page here, and then I will see if I can find a correlating page or country area in this book, dive more into this with what they believe, and find it and pull out an atlas as well. Each section here with this yellow page section, I think it's probably backwards, so I apologize about that. But what it says is to help you pray for Haiti. This is Haiti's page. You can thank God for, and it has some bullet points here, and then you can ask God for. And then the last resource book that has been very popular in our home are these Bible infographics books. There are currently 3 out. I do think they might also have now a coloring book and an activity book. We do have the 3 books. But again, this is one of those ones that my kids love because it just has all of these random different facts that they can do. So this one is about how big was Noah's Ark. It's compared here with the White House. And this right here is the Ark, and so it shows what it's like with a plane, Washington Monument. Here's a page about the 10 plagues in Egypt. This is a subject my kids are always very interested about. This is labeled, What's the Deal with the Tabernacle? Odd and Amazing Bible Stories, section on Psalms and Proverbs. It even has in the middle here a Bible board game where you can fold this out and now you have your board game. So there are just a few of our favorite nonfiction resources. If there's a particular subject that you might be interested in, I probably have a couple books on the subject. So if you're looking for something, I would be happy to show you what we have and kind of what they look like inside as well. I will attempt to link down below the ones that I can find. And if you have any questions, let me know. Thank you. Bye.